And we have problems 5 through 7 on your Algebra Chapter 7 self-test here. In 5 through 7, Tyrone deposits $400 into a savings account that pays 4.4% interest per year, and we are asked to write and evaluate an expression for the amount of money Tyrone will have after 7 years, assuming he doesn't deposit or withdraw money from the account. So what we need for this problem is the compound interest formula, which is our A equals P times the quantity 1 plus R to the T power, where all of these variables represent certain factors of what is happening with the money. A is the total amount after so much time based on what the rate is and the initial amount. P is the starting amount. It's the principal. What do we start with? The 1 is there to maintain the value of the original amount. The R is the change in that original amount, whether it's going up or down. In this case, it's going to be going up because it pays 4.4% interest. And T is the time periods that have gone by. In this case, the time periods are every year. So we want to write and evaluate the expression for the amount of money he will have after 7 years. We know the principal. It's $400 because he deposited that $400. The rate is the interest rate, which is 4.4%. So we're going to plug in 4.4% in for R. And the T in this case is 7 years. After 7 years, how much money is he going to have? Where he started with this amount, $400, and he got 4.4% more every year. So by plugging all these values in, what we have is this. The total amount, whatever that is going to be, will be found by taking 400, multiplying that by 1 plus 0.044. Notice it was 4.4%. This is 0.044 because we have to change the percent to a decimal when we plug it into the equation. And 0.044 is the same thing as 4.4% because 4.4% means 4.4 divided by 100, which is 0.044. And we replace the T with 7 because it's 7 years later, as indicated in the problem. So now what we're going to do is just evaluate this. I have no idea what this is in my head, so I'm going to use my calculator to find out what this is. 400 times 1 plus 0.044 to the 7th power. If I plug that into my calculator, I get, well, the same exact thing there. And I should get $540.71. That's how much money he will have after 7 years. Problem number 6 is that at the same time that Tyrone makes his deposit, his sister Oleta deposits $400 in a highly unusual savings account. Well, isn't that interesting? The account pays exactly $22 interest each year. Who will have more money after 10 years? So in this case, we are getting $22 interest every year instead of 4.4%. So in this case, the interest rate is exactly the same amount every single year. So if we go back to Tyrone's equation, which I'm going to call A1 because we are working with two different values here, this is the equation for Tyrone based on now 10 years as opposed to 7. He started with $400. It's a 4.4% interest rate, so we plug in 0.044 and to the 10th power because it's been 10 years. Plugging this into a calculator gives us the value of $615.27. That's how much money Tyrone will have after 10 years in his account. His sister's equation is going to be 400 plus 22x because she is getting $22 every single year. That's not changing. Every year she's getting $22 more, 22, and then 44, and then 66, so on and so forth. So if we want to find out how much money she has after 10 years, we're going to take 10, multiply it by 22, because for every one of those years she has gotten $22, and then add that to 400, which she started with. When we do this, we get $620. So after 10 years, she has $620. Tyrone has $615.27. The question is, who will have more money after 10 years? The answer is Oleta with $620. Problem number 7 says who will have more money after 25 years? So exact same type of question, just a different time period or amount of time periods. So here's Tyrone's equation, where the amount is going to be equal to 400 times 1 plus 0.044 to the 25th power. Plug that into a calculator, and you will get $1,173.74, or somewhere in that region there to the nearest penny. That's what we'll have. His sister's equation, 400 plus 22 times 25, because now after 25 years, we're going to take that 25 and multiply it by 22, because every year she's gotten $22. Whatever that amount is all of her interest. We're going to add that to the 400 that she started with, and we will find that she has $950 after 25 years. So, who will have more money after 25 years? This number is clearly bigger after 25 years, and the answer to the question is Tyrone.